I found my husband's hands in the wedding gift money exactly 3 days after our daughter's first birthday, and that's the moment everything I thought I knew about my family turned to dust. I still remember standing in the kitchen, holding that empty envelope, my fingers shaking so hard I could barely breathe. The money my parents had given us. Gone. And he just shrugged. I needed it for something important, he said, not even looking up from his phone. That was the first crack. But it wasn't the last. My name doesn't matter. What matters is what happened to me, and what I built from the ashes of it. I married young. 22 years old. Full of hope, full of dreams. My husband, Okosh, was charming back then. He used to bring me flowers from the roadside vendors, write me silly notes, promise me the world. My parents were poor, my father was a school teacher, barely making ends meet, but they gave everything they had for my wedding. Every rupee they saved for years. I knew that. I never forgot that. For the first year, things were good. Or at least, I told myself they were. Then the cracks started. Small things first. He'd come home late, smelling of perfume that wasn't mine. He'd get defensive over nothing. He started talking to his college friend, Priya, more and more. She's just a friend, he'd say, every single time, before I even asked. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself marriages have rough patches. I told myself a lot of things. Then my daughter was born. Anya. The most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. For a moment, just a moment, I thought maybe this would fix everything. Maybe becoming a father would change him. It didn't. If anything, it made him worse. He started staying out later. He started asking me for money my parents had given us as gifts, money I had saved from my small tailoring business I ran from home. Just for a few days, he'd say. I'll pay it back. He never did. And then came that night. The night with the envelope. I confronted him. I asked him where the money went. And do you know what he told me? He told me he gave it to Priya. For her business problem. His college friend. The same woman he swore was just a friend for 3 years. I felt the floor disappear beneath me. I asked him, calmly, too calmly, how long has this been going on? He didn't answer. He just walked out of the room. That silence told me everything. That night, after he fell asleep, I sat in the dark with my daughter sleeping beside me, and I cried. Not loud sobs. Just silent tears, the kind that burn more than they heal. I felt like the biggest fool in the world. 3 years. 3 years of marriage, and the man I trusted with my life had been giving away my family's hard-earned money to another woman. But here's the thing about pain, real pain, the kind that cuts to the bone, it doesn't just break you. Sometimes, it changes you. The next morning, I woke up a different person. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't confront him again. Instead, I smiled. I made his breakfast like nothing happened. I packed his lunch. I kissed him goodbye like always. He looked confused. He probably expected tears, anger, a fight. Instead, he got silence and a smile. That confused him more than any scream ever could have. Because here's what he didn't know. While he thought everything was back to normal, I was watching. Listening. Learning. I started paying closer attention to his phone, his routines, his late-night meetings. I didn't confront him with what I found. I just collected it. Quietly, like a spider building a web, one thread at a time. I found messages, photos, bank transfers, small ones, hidden in different accounts, money slowly drained from our joint savings over months. Not just the wedding money. More. So much more. He had been planning something. An exit, maybe. Or maybe he just thought I was too stupid, too dependent, too broken to ever notice. He had no idea who he was dealing with. See, my father, the poor school teacher, had taught me one thing that stayed with me my whole life. He used to tell me a story, an old story, about a king and a poor pandit's son. The pandit ran away from a problem because he was scared, because he thought he wasn't smart enough, strong enough. But his son didn't run. His son used what little he had, a simple grinding stone, some rice, and turned it into the answer that saved his entire family. My father used to say, "Beta, sometimes the biggest problems have the simplest answers, if you have the courage to face them instead of running." I had been running for 3 years. Running from the truth. Running from my own pain. Running from the reality that the man I married was not the man I thought he was. It was time to stop running. The first thing I did was quietly open my own bank account, one he didn't know about. I started taking small amounts from my tailoring business and putting it there. Not stealing from him. Just protecting myself. Building my own foundation, brick by brick, while he thought I was the same naive woman he married. The second thing I did was reconnect with my old friend, Mira, who worked at a law firm. I told her everything. Every detail. Every transaction. Every message. She helped me understand exactly what my rights were, what evidence I needed, and how to build a case that couldn't be ignored. For months, I played the role of the perfect wife. Smiling. Cooking. Caring for Anya. And every single day, I gathered more proof. More evidence. More pieces of the puzzle that would eventually bring his entire world crashing down. But here's where it gets darker. One evening, I overheard a phone call. Akash was talking to Priya, and what I heard made my blood run cold. They were planning to sell our house. My house. The one my parents had helped us buy, the one with my name on half the documents because my father insisted on it during the registration. Something Akash never knew, something even I had forgotten until that moment. He was planning to forge documents. Sell the house behind my back. Take the money, leave with Priya, and disappear, leaving me and Anya with nothing. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat with my sleeping daughter in my arms, and for the first time in years, I felt something other than sadness. I felt fire. The next morning, I called my father. I told him everything. My father, gentle, quiet man that he was, went silent for a long moment. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Beta, remember the story of the charki, the grinding stone? Sometimes you don't need to fight with anger. You need to fight with patience. Let him think he's winning. And then, show him the truth, all at once, in front of everyone who matters." So that's exactly what I did. I let Akash continue his plan. I let him think he was getting away with it. I even pretended to be excited when he told me we were moving to a bigger house. A complete lie, of course, since he was planning to sell our house and vanish. But behind the scenes, I was working with Mira to file the legal paperwork. I got copies of the original property documents, the ones with my name on them, the ones Akash had forgotten about. I documented every fraudulent transaction, every withdrawal, every secret meeting with Priya. And then, I did something Akash never expected. I invited his entire family, his parents, his sister, his uncles, to our house for a family dinner. I told him it was to celebrate Anya's birthday, a small gathering. He agreed, probably thinking it would help maintain the image of a happy family while he secretly finalized his escape plan. He had no idea what was coming. The evening of the dinner, everyone gathered in our living room. Anya was running around, laughing, completely unaware of the storm about to hit. Akash was relaxed, confident, probably already mentally halfway gone with Priya and our money. After dinner, I stood up. Before we cut the cake, I said, my voice calm but firm, I want to share something with the family. Something important. Akash looked at me, confused but still smiling, that same fake smile he'd been wearing for months. I placed a folder on the table. Inside were copies of everything. Bank statements, property documents, messages between him and Priya. The forged paperwork he and Priya had been preparing to sell our house. I looked at his parents. Did you know, I said, that Akash has been planning to sell this house without my knowledge and leave with another woman? The room went dead silent. His mother's face went pale. His father stood up, grabbing the folder, flipping through the pages with trembling hands. His sister gasped, covering her mouth. Akash's face, I will never forget his face. The color drained from it completely. He tried to speak, tried to explain, but the words just wouldn't come out. It's not what it looks like, he finally stammered. I can explain. Then explain, I said calmly, why your name and Priya's name are both on the buyer's documentation for an apartment in another city. Explain why 3 lakh rupees from our joint account went to her personal account last month. Explain why you've been planning to forge my signature on the property sale papers. Papers for a house that is, legally, 50% mine, registered in my name by my father. His father turned to him, his voice shaking with rage and shame. Is this true? Tell me this isn't true. Akash couldn't answer. His silence was louder than any confession. His mother started crying. His sister looked at him with pure disgust. And Akash, the man who once charmed me with flowers and promises, sat there, exposed, humiliated, in front of the people whose respect he valued most. But I wasn't done. I've already filed for divorce, I said quietly. And I've already filed a case regarding the fraudulent property documents and the missing funds. My lawyer has copies of everything. The bank has been notified about the suspicious transactions. And Priya's husband, yes, Akash, she's married, has also been informed about everything. The room erupted. His mother started screaming at him. His father looked like he was about to have a heart attack. His sister walked out of the room in tears. And Akash, the man who thought he was so smart, who thought I was too broken and too naive to ever fight back, just sat there, frozen, staring at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Maybe he was. Because the woman sitting across from him wasn't the same woman who cried silently into her pillow months ago. That woman was gone. In her place was someone stronger. Someone who had learned, the hard way, that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most are the ones who hurt you the deepest, and that the only way to survive is to become someone they never expected. The divorce process wasn't easy. It took months. There were ugly fights, desperate attempts from Okosh to manipulate me, to guilt-trip me, to threaten me. But every single time, I had the proof. Every single time, the law was on my side. In the end, I kept the house, my house, the one my father had so wisely put my name on, all those years ago. I got full custody of Anya. And the money Okosh had stolen. The court ordered him to repay every rupee, with interest. As for Priya, her marriage fell apart when her husband found out about the affair and the stolen money she had received. She lost everything too. Funny how betrayal has a way of coming back around. The last time I saw Okosh was outside the courthouse. He looked smaller somehow. Defeated. He tried to say something to me, some kind of apology, maybe, or another excuse. I don't even remember what he said. I just looked at him, and for the first time in years, I felt nothing. No anger. No pain. Just peace. I turned around, picked up Anya, who was holding my hand, and walked away. I didn't look back. Today, my tailoring business has grown into something I never imagined. A small shop with 3 employees, all women, many of them survivors of their own difficult marriages. Anya is older now, and every night, I tell her the same story my father told me, the story of the pandit's son and the grinding stone. The story about patience, about courage, about facing your problems instead of running from them. Because here's what I learned from everything that happened to me. Betrayal doesn't just break you. If you let it, it can also build you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who will never again be fooled by sweet words and empty promises. Okosh thought he was the smart one. He thought he could take everything from me and disappear without consequence. But he forgot one simple thing, the same thing that King forgot, all those years ago, in that old story my father used to tell me. Sometimes, the person you underestimate the most is the one who ends up teaching you the most painful lesson of your life. And I made sure he never forgot it.